First time getting to Todc fluorite. Okay, not the worst thing. Not the worst thing. It's not the worst thing, I guess. Okay, that's really good that I got the fluorite for my first time. This is the floor that on practice I struggled the most with. Floor 9 has like really hard gameplay too. Actually, it only has like a few hard jumps in my opinion. It's still not like completely easy, but it's not as hard as people sometimes say it is. Okay. This is practically an outside. Whoa. This is gonna be an insane fluke. Apparently, yes. Okay, extreme for the first time, even though I felt like the third jump. I am around 30% done with fluorite on my first run there. That's actually like really good. I mean, I fluked the entirety of insane technically. I had one small fail, but it wasn't really considered really a big fail since I did not fail. Like, I lost maybe 10 jumps of progress now. So, that's actually a pretty good thing now. I got to extreme for the first time. I hope that, this is just my 4th day of grinding and I'm already on extreme, even though, I failed kind of I mean, extreme has like pretty hard raw gameplay. It has a bit of gameplay that I may struggle with, so I should probably practice it after this run. Beating insane, pretty good. I'm pretty happy right now. Of course, the hardest part is about to come with extreme and terrifying. But if I just get consistent with floor 8 now, that will be really good. Because if I get consistently to floor 8, and then I'm able to pass it with ease, then that's really good. When you get to a new floor for the first time, the most important thing is consistency. So you gotta be practicing a bit more the gameplay. Even though you've already finished with the floor, you gotta be a bit more consistent with it. And if you're consistent with that floor, you can like easily pass it, and that would be really good for my grind since Kata is like easier than fluorite, even though it has some fin stats. That's really the only bad part, and I guess some trust GP, which again, like, I should practice a bit. But yeah, this is a really good run. First time on extreme, really good. I did not even think that I would make it this far. I know, like, probably most people when they are grinding Todc, they, immediately, like, give up and stuff like that. Today I was, like, kind of thinking it feels like a chore, but now I just got a dopamine boost, and, yeah, now I just... Wait, did I just pass that part without getting damage? What? Oh my god. Maybe I had like 1 mil damage, but still, like, that's genuinely crazy if I did not do the damageless, because that's like one of the hardest parts to do damageless. It would genuinely be crazy. I'm already pretty happy with it. Tomorrow I might be able to play it a bit after school. But I have something to do later on. Like a test for my taekwondo thingy. I'm gonna get a new belt, which is the blue one. So I'm also gonna like go out and eat. So I won't be home for a bit. It's pretty good. I mean, Insane's first part is not even that bad. Maybe I was a bit over exaggerating with the quality of Insane. But, it's actually not that bad. I mean, I did it first try, technically. Fluorate, if I like on my next run to there, I like pass Extreme or like get a new PB there, that would be genuinely pretty good. Maybe I'm gonna practice it a bit more for today. I didn't really have that much. I basically had no practice today and yesterday. I just played today a bit of Todc. I didn't really think that I would make it to Extreme already. Insane, I kind of expected to get there like one of these days. At least like this week. But Extreme, can't be mad. Now just gotta pass Extreme. And, gotta do that. Okay, you know what? It's kind of getting a bit annoying. So I'm just gonna do a bit of practicing. Here. Log. Practice log. Yeah, fair. That was pretty good. Just gotta practice Todc a bit more and then I should be good. Why does that have an emoji? Okay, so gotta practice a bit more of Extreme. Insane is genuinely fun. Like this part here, maybe I'm gonna do a few attempts, but the conveyor gameplay is pretty simple actually. Just I need to practice floor 8B. After that, the hardest part is probably Seaside, where we go to Insane again. I don't know. Would you consider that A side again or C side or just not any side? Okay, this jump is. Okay, this one is not the. This one I expect to fail a few times. This one here I also don't really think that I'm gonna be that consistent with it. You can't do this skip anymore, so that's pretty horrible. I'm not the best with thrusts, so this thing here is probably the hardest part of Extreme. This flick on after that, the head hitter. Yeah, these are like the hardest part. This is like the hardest part of Extreme, because there's like that fins that platform to land on only. You gotta turn your camera, but if you turn your camera, then you just fall off. Okay, maybe not that bad. Hopefully they raise this platform a bit higher, since my friend Arctic said that uh they patched the skip, so if they move this like higher up, then that would be pretty good. Is that a filler jump? Yes, it is. Okay, I gotta be careful with that part. That's like the only hard part on Insane again. And that one jump that's about to come, like that wrap. I'm gonna show you that. Oh, besides that, yeah, this one here and this one. This one especially is hard. They would just get earlier a GP, just a bit easier, I guess. This thing is kind of based off the beginning of Floor 8, and this year's, the transition to Extreme. And it's terrifying. Terrifying is at the beginning really easy. It still has, some bad trust GP, but it's not like the worst thing. And I really hope they have this song. Okay, I think I gotta go up here. Maybe like I need to do it. Like, yeah. Terrifying like these type of jumps are the hard ones. I find this middle to be a bit hard, especially this jump here. Gotta like kind of align it after that. Yeah, this jump is also pretty hard. Gotta do like kind of like a wrap. This is just a 9-step wrap, right? Yeah, okay. Here I just gotta be careful and then just walk up, flick. Yeah, I need to walk, then jump, then flick. And then I can just high jump this launch. It's a small break. This thrust part is also not the worst thing. You just gotta go down. Then the slow C-leg section. Need to do a ledge grab. Do this wrap, and this is for many like the hardest jump. You just gotta like align yourself good. Then turn off shift lock. Go up here and okay. This part is probably the section that most people will call the hardest jump of this entire tower, like the hardest section. The rest of the other two flicks are fairly simple, but this one is like the one that gives people the most trouble. Like you gotta kind of practice. I think go on the corner and then on the second thrust. Okay, go here up, and then okay, this flick is not the worst. You just gotta be a bit careful. 9 stud, fin stud, 9 stud wrap. Maybe like first person. Yeah, and then this jump is the last one. That's kind of hard on this floor. The rest is, there's some trust gameplay. You just gotta be careful. Here, you just do this. Yeah, okay, it's fairly simple. After that, the wrap and the final ladder flick, the trust flick, sorry. And after that, we get that, I don't know, this fin stop part here. Yeah, that ladder flick is like intense. We literally get like intense to Ramos's gameplay. Like, why can't I do this? Now we just get some simple gameplay. Yes, you're right. Again, like this floor is mostly filler, and like these stick outs are also not that hard. Just gotta be careful, but the reason why you would fail this is probably due to nerves. So I hope that that won't happen to me. Oh, there you just gotta be quick. And here you should not do this quickly because you might rush and then you fail. Here just, time it and stay concentrated. You just gotta be quick. These are like late flicks, they're a bit easier than the kata head hitters. This part is also gotta be a bit careful. You do like a wrap until then this is you know good old trust flick, and here you just this spinner part here. Kind of always do this. I think like it's better when I go to the back because there's like a bit of an easier way for me to do what? Yeah, okay, maybe I should not let that happen. I can, enter leave this trust as soon as possible. Since, there's like that one fence that we're gonna go to. I probably have to improve a bit more of my trust fleet consistency. No, that's probably the worst part. But besides that, like, really not that much stuff. That's really bad. I mean, extreme is still left and terrifying, but Kata, you just have to control your nerves and practice it beforehand. So, yeah, that's really it. You always gotta stay like near the center, because there are like these walls. That whole W and okay, yeah, that's bit scary. This part is like the only kind of weird part of this film. And, I really hate parts that are horrible to practice, and spinner parts are like some of the parts that you can practice the least. You can just practice like spinner jump. Just practicing is just horrible. Okay, come on. This trust part is just so annoying to practice, but it's actually like fairly simple. I guess you just gotta stay here, like gotta do like that setup. After that, once it goes here, you can like. No, I think I should like, you know, gonna, gonna spin a little bit. Am I able? Wait a second. No, okay. This is a bit lower. Maybe. No. And this one is too high, right? Mm, wow. Yeah. Just some filler gameplay. This is like the last kind of arts like structure before a wind pad. And I guess that tightrope is also pretty nerve wracking. Do that trust flick, and after that it's fairly simple. You gotta be careful. There's probably like an alignment method, and this jump is fairly simple. And if you fail, you can save yourself on extreme, but that won't be really useful. But you can save yourself on Bram. So yeah. Yeah. That's it for this video, I guess. Bye.